2 decades after the last great global conflict, the Second World War was the most widespread and deadliest war in history, involving more than 30 countries and resulting in more than 50 million military and civilian deaths. Sparked by Adolf Hitler's invasion of Poland in 1939, the war dragged on for 6 deadly years until the Allied defeat of Nazi Germany and Japan in 1945. Between 1933 and 1939, many German and Austrian Jews fled to neighboring countries such as France, Portugal, and Switzerland. When the war began in September of 1939, escape became much more difficult. If they were caught, they would be sent to concentration camps, if they weren't just killed on the spot. Many sympathetic non-Jews, motivated by opposition to Nazism, moral principles, or compassion, provided assistance to Jews at their own personal risk. A number of American and French organizations helped refugees into Lisbon, Portugal, a neutral country. From there, they could escape to the United States or South America. My grandmother's father, René Ulrich de Labrie, was one of those diplomats who helped Jews escape.
Why do we leave Europe? Because my father, when he was in Spain, he was in the diplomatic corps. And he was helping, how the horrible Nazis were killing the Jews. They were putting them in concentration camps and completely killing them. And all the Jews were escaping to Spain. And my father was in the diplomatic corps, and he was helping all the Jews get out of Spain into Portugal and then go to either Africa, South America, or the United States.
Like many Europeans, my grandmother and her family had to flee Europe in the wake of the war. She was just 11 years old when a friend told her father that they had 24 hours to leave, or else the Gestapo would come for them and take their whole family to a concentration camp. Fortunately for them, my great-grandfather had anticipated this escape and had been transferring money to American banks for a while. Our family was much more well off than the majority of European immigrants during the time. Many Europeans during World War II decided to flee their homelands and start completely anew in America. Thousands boarded ships with the hope of freedom and prosperity in the land of equal opportunity, America. However, upon arriving in America, the fates of European immigrants weren't so bright. The majority of these people had to pack up and leave their countries quickly, without many possessions or money. Once in America, these poor immigrants crowded into the cities. In New York City, the population grew exponentially as more and more people arrived seeking asylum. Many were forced to live in dirty, cramped, unsafe tenement houses. These people jumped countless hurdles in order to obtain citizenship at Ellis Island, along with the struggle to assimilate into American culture due to the language barrier. What was it like adjusting to life in America? Like, obviously you spoke French, so you had to kind of learn English, and that must have been...
Well, I was tutored before I went to school, since we arrived in the fall, no, in the spring. During the whole summer, my sister and I had a tutor who came in Scarsdale and gave us English lessons maybe 3 times a week. And we spoke a little bit of English, but not much. And but anyway, we did our best. And then when we went to school that fall in Scarsdale, also in Scarsdale, Immaculate Heart of Mary, it was a grammar school, and it was very, very annoying for me. It was for my sister too, because we couldn't speak English, and what we spoke with a French accent, funny talking and making mistakes in anyway, just like this.
Yeah.
So every time we stood up in class, when the teacher asked us a question, and we tried to speak, and the kids started laughing and laughing and making fun of us. So that was a little difficult.
Right.
But anyway,
yeah,
we went through it.
Immigrants who came from Europe during the war didn't have it easy when they first came over, but ultimately their journey to America is exactly what makes our great country what it is today. It is because of immigrants that our country is called the Great American Melting Pot. Today, with the number of American immigrants higher than any time in history, it is important to remember where we all initially came from. President Obama is doing all he can today to assimilate immigrants legally into American society as valuable members.
We define ourselves as a nation of immigrants. The promise we find in those who come from every corner of the globe has always been one of our greatest strengths. It's kept our workforce vibrant and dynamic. It's kept our businesses on the cutting edge, and it's helped build the greatest economic engine the world has ever known.
America is a country built by immigrants, whether they came here because of acts of heroism during a war or because of economic opportunities. Because of these brave people, our country has grown to be the vibrantly diverse place that it is today.
And I just thank my father every day that he took the whole family to here. And then here you are, you're over here, my husband's here. And then really, this is the best country